Johannes Ferner is the founder of Fiskaly. I hope I pronounced it right.
In the essence, what Fiskaly does is making sure that if a merchant is selling things at a point of sale, that these taxes that are owed to the government are really paid for. We do this by providing digital signatures onto the receipt data, especially everything around the revenue and the tax perspective of it, chain these things and then hand over audit logs in case of a financial audit. And the idea of that is actually pretty old. In Italy, they started this like 20 years ago, but hardware-based. And you know my background that B2B and software as a service and everything, which is kind of a bit more technical, is where I actually feel at home the most. With my background of IT consulting and then venture capital, and knowing Patrick and Simon for a while, I actually stumbled across them, and they told me that there is a very big thing in Germany coming up, a huge market opportunity which, with the effectiveness of the law, enforces all point of sales that are out there to be equipped with such a system.
So now, in every single shop, in every single store, there was a need to do something different, and you jumped into this field.
Exactly, yeah. Jumping forward, we now have a few 100,000 retailers and or retail point of sales on our systems, making a few thousand transactions a second. So
wow, and having 50 employees.
49. We are looking forward to have the 50th hired.
Wow.
So everyone in the audience, this is the chance to have a very special number at Fiskaly as well. Simon and Patrick actually came up with it, and are like two technical and organizational brains, have done a company previously which was in a similar space. And
so
were
you
really
even found experienced co-founders,
Exactly, and they were in need of someone having a bit of more thought into partnerships, sales, marketing, go-to-market strategies, and how to get this thing out. And I guess this is one of the coolest things for me about Fiskaly, that we have this basically this triangle of responsibilities where every one of us three has his clear path and
a clear role, which is very important for everybody.
Yeah, because most of startups that I know are usually founded by two or three very similar people from its background. We have this kind of diversity in there where everyone is very experienced in his part, but can also take over things from the others.
You started, I think it was 2019, It was before COVID, but of course COVID hit you too. How was it?
So there are two aspects. Personally, it wasn't that bad. It was like 3 or 4 days. But company-wise, as we are a tech company, we did have all the tooling. We did have most of the processes to be able to run a complete remote company. But anyways, we were kind of on-premise before, and it's not always as easy as you might think, because just that you have all the tools doesn't mean you have the processes so smooth that you get everyone on board, and that you have also enough processes in line that no one is left somewhere basically alone without having enough contact to its team members, to its peers. Generally, the processes is a topic that is very much aligned with what we do. We have multiple IT security certifications. We are ISO 27001 certified, so processes is a kind of a big topic with us. But it's not as bad as it might sound, because if you design them yourself to the company that you're running, it makes a lot of sense. And in terms of the team spirit and how people work together, we implemented a lot of the agile principles, and even went a bit further there. If we talk about HR, we've implemented really a people and culture department, which is for company size of ours pretty big. We are hiring now for a 5th person in there, which are taking care of all the internal aspects of our team. We have engineering managers with a maximum of 6, 7, 8 people that they're taking care of, as well as the, usually you would call it Scrum Masters. In our terms, it's more agile coach perspective, so that we really have everyone part of the team and in communication with its team members as often as possible.
How did you make sure, so nowadays and during the pandemic to have a healthy culture. Yeah, did you do anything for this?
Yeah, we try actually to invest the most into our people because it's the most valuable asset. And by doing this, it means that we have really regular touch points with everyone. This definitely doesn't scale from one person down, so we have more people involved into this so that there isn't a lack of touch points. And we also try to give the best that we have an open environment where everyone can actually share whatever is going on with them. Is it private, is it business side, is it that or that thing which currently influences a person's life? We'd like to help out wherever it is possible. We've actually done quite a rebranding in the last few months, or now it's actually like close to 3/4 of a year, but we've rebranded ourselves. We try to position us not only internally correctly, but also to the outside, that people really know why and what they are doing at Fiskaly. Why are we doing the things that we do? This really helped a lot because the why we are doing things is one of the biggest motivators for everyone. Because if you're doing like a super heavily paid job and it sucks for you, you're not happy with that. You might get more and more, but you're then having motivational aspects which are only working over time.
Yeah.
You really need to go to the inside of the people and try to see that you give them a meaningful working environment where we all know that we are doing the things for a good reason.
Can you remember your first hire?
Yes.
How was it?
Personally, I have to go to the second or third one
Okay,
because
okay.
in the first few ones I wasn't really involved. It was like Simon and Patrick doing that. Usually we hire through our network, so especially in the beginning. So because that was like in the first few.
It's the normal thing to do.
You know people from university,
Yeah.
from your network. You ask around, and you get super good credibility. But definitely, this process at some time isn't able to scale anymore. We now have more than 20 open positions and we are already 49. So this is not what we could cover out of our network. And looking at the statistics that we had last year, we had like 130 or 140 applicants, which after the rebranding and our repositioning and our marketing efforts, we actually changed it to having close to 700 already only in this year.
They want to work for you. No? You don't have to ask them, they want to really work for you.
Or at least want to know more because we somehow triggered their excitement. Now that we are also planning our first expansions where we don't have networks, we will also try to find other ways how to actually build up a first team somewhere.
Yeah.
And building up teams to add that, we've actually learned that quite often to know how we are forming teams and to have a better plan to form teams. We recently also decided that we will not form new teams out of thin air, meaning that if we do a new product, if we do a new market, we will always put someone from the existing teams within these teams.
Yeah.
So that,
and take your time, so to say.
Yeah, and culture scales with that.
Yeah.
Because if you set up, let's say, remotely somewhere in a new country, a completely new team, they form their own thing, so to say, as well. And over the course of the last few years, we've now seen, okay, where we want to be and also where we want to go further. And we want to prohibit it going lower, right? There are a few challenges that founders have when they are starting out, and one of it is definitely finding the right team. Because also from the investment background, it is always the team which actually changes the things. If there would be a pivot somewhere, it is the team making the right decisions, and you need to find, especially in the first 10 or so, really the people which are turning the whole thing around. Especially the first few founders as well and first few employees, they are part of everything. And here, if you have any doubts, you should actually not go for it. You should find the right people to kick everything off. Being a founder is actually the most incredible job that I had so far. And the second best was back then at Speed Invest because I really got to know incredible founders, how they work and what influences them, what problems do they have, how do they tackle this. and definitely could take a lot of this experience into my story now. And it is definitely a good way to become a founder once. And I'd advise actually all investment managers to go down that road at some point, because for me it felt sometimes like, okay, this is like I am with them, but I'm a bit sidelined, and now really driving it is a lot more challenging and a lot more fun, but the best excitement.
When I hear you speaking, it seems like that you really found your spot.
Yeah, I try to get there. So there's always like you can always up level a bit more. Definitely, it is what I want to do.
We are always trying to so to say something about mental health and that we should take care about ourselves.
I guess no one could answer that you should not speak about it, because that would not make any sense at all.
That's true.
We try to tackle these kind of areas as upfront as possible by implementing our culture perspectives and tactics on that. We did, for example, a mindfulness workshop, how to interact with people, how people interact with each other, sender-receiver topics as well. Because especially being remote and only in video calls, you lose a lot of the communication that is going on. And also implementing processes around that people really meet even though they are remote, and can exchange and have room for exchanges. Like just we have a random coffee chat channel where everyone can open this and just have discussions with someone. And we try to have sit-downs with everyone in very regular intervals, so that we really learn more about the people, because we grew the most while we were completely remote. We had also challenges that like some people cannot differentiate between work and private, and if they are at home alone in their own small flat and they are working on it and it is fun for them, and they keep on going and going, at some point they burn themselves out. You need also to stop and take your own breaks at some point. And I guess that goes for everyone. And here we do not have any all-in contracts. That is the first part. We pay each and every hour that is being done.
Cool.
And we are...
That's rare in the startup
business. That's very rare, yeah. And we try also to engage that people are, if it's like not 100% needed right now, don't go too much over certain hours, because it's not healthy over a long course of time. It might sometimes be needed to fill some gaps, but you cannot do this over a long time.
What are you doing if you struggle, or if you feel it's enough?
We had actually the topic of distance and breaks, and for me I developed a new hobby this year, which is kayaking. And this is absolutely like no cell phone or anything, and this is something that really grounds me. So I guess everyone has something that he or she is interested in, and that they can really fall into and do something for their own.
That's why you look so good.
That's at least why I'm browner than usual, right? I think trying new things out, especially if you've not yet done it, is also part of the game, that you push your own boundaries a little bit more, and this not only in the work area but also in your normal life, that you try new things and open yourself up to this stuff. And then afterwards you can actually say if it's something for you or not, but beforehand it's always a bit tricky.
I will try it out. Please tell us, what is the future of your company?
I see many things.
Good.
And so far we actually managed to be in a market-leading position in Germany for our verticals. And we want to replicate this to other countries. So we will have a horizontal expansion in the next few years, where we are transferring the principles of how you do fiscalization and prevent tax fraud in those countries. We're currently searching for people for Spain, which has already a very clear path for us to go there. And we are analyzing companies like Romania, Italy, Greece, and some others.
Wow.
This is like one growth side that we are tackling. And the other is that we are, from product perspective, also going vertically. Our slogan is receipts made simple. So if you would be building some kind of point of sale ERP or whatever kind of system, you don't want to take on all the compliance topics. And this is where we come in and say, we build the platform so that you can build the best UX, the best product for whatever vertical you're designing. And we are the infrastructure for you to still be compliant in that sense.
Cool. So you do the hard work with everybody.
I guess both sides are hard.
No, that's true.
But definitely you will have a specialization, and then you build on top of other things. And one of our now newly relaunched products actually is a digital receipt, which we have already done for Austria for years, and back then won the T-Mobile sustainability prize with that. And we redesigned it to be able to not only serve Austria, but also Germany and more international markets. We're here with a very interesting plan. So as soon as our product manager is starting, the strategic goal is to bring that product in 12 to 18 months into 10 countries from a compliance perspective, which will be challenging, but also fun.
And it is huge.
And this way we use it also to reverse engineer the knowledge about the local markets and its legislations. And here we are already now we've rolled out for a big festival which is running right now, where there are the first few thousands of receipts are already generated, so that you don't have to pick your own printed receipt and hand it in for expense management or whatever, but you just collect them, and then you have bulks of PDFs and HTML representations. They contain the data, you push it to your accounting tools, and the accounting tools can directly work with it, so no one has to do the job of just transferring paper receipts to digital again, where we currently have a completely UX broken process. For example, in France, they are already going a bit further than that. With 1st of January 23, they are actually prohibiting the printing of receipts at ATMs, at point of sales, wherever, because it is a big statement also in terms of sustainability. It will not move a lot in terms of the amount of CO2 spared in contrast to, say, oil and gas or something, but it's something that really every person will see, and everyone is reminded that there are things to be done.
In a world led by women,
we would finally go towards diverse leadership teams.
What is something very few know about you?
The kayaking part is now already spoiled, right?
The superpower you wish you had is?
That is tricky, but I would probably go for time traveling.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good one. I love it.
Actually seeing future innovations and how they developed back then, that would be a lot of fun.
And do you think it's really possible?
That should be clear by now.
Okay, Johannes, thank you so much. It was really a very, very nice talk, hearing more about fiskaly.
Yeah, nice to see you again. It was fun being here, and yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more things together.
Would you love to add something?
I hope that by now everyone actually Googled fiskaly already. We have a very nice jobs page with lots of positions. As mentioned, we are looking for more than 20 people joining us right now. And there will be something probably for you in there as well. So from engineering, product management, sales, marketing, back office, there is in every department that we currently have, we are searching for at least one more person. And in terms of expansion, it would be extremely cool to find also via this medium our potential product managers for wherever we go.